I think Trump's remarks in the White House was AI. I'm going to show you the glitch. I believe this is the reason why they're going to try and silence us on social media, because we do the investigative work and we share it.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
Wait for it.
Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him
Watch.
and loved him are united in shock and horror.
Here.
Charlie was a patriot.
Did you see
who
that?
Devoted his life
Did
to
you
the
see the
cause
jump?
of open debate.
Did you guys see
in
the
the
jump?
country that he loves, united in
Watch.
shock and horror.
Right here.
Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to...
I had comment after comment that it looked AI. And when I hopped on that live stream, the White House's live stream, I was like, the color is weird. It's brighter than normal. This doesn't even look like him. But then so many people messaged me like, I swear to God, it's AI. So I watched it like 5 times and saw the exact same thing, that jump. And that is AI glitch.
Okay, so obviously the news today is about Charlie Kirk and the search for his killer, but something else is happening. Is the president okay? So this is 40 or so seconds of the president at today's 9/11 memorial in Arlington, Virginia. You can hear them reading out the names of the victims there, but the president, look at his face. It is drooping specifically on his right side. That is the side of his body where his hand has been bruised repeatedly. That's been covered up. I don't want to start speculation here, but look at his face. So this is a still of that I actually cleaned up a little bit because it was blurry when you zoomed in on this thing, but you can see that the right side of his face here is drooping. You can see it in his eye and in his cheek, and his whole head is listing to his right side. Now, I am not a doctor. I don't know exactly what's going on here. Somebody tag a doctor if you see this video to say if this is something that the president should be seeing a doctor for or might already be seeing a doctor for. Now, as far as I know, nobody has been able to get an answer on this from the White House, myself included. I have already reached out to their press office, but have not heard back yet. But those pictures would seem to indicate the president is not well.
Trump should resign. Yes, Donald Trump should resign. Because that's the call the Republican used to make when they accused Joe Biden not fit to serve. So, is Trump fit to serve when his health is in question? You saw the other week, Trump was out for almost a week. No word, no press briefing, no statement in his social media, just pure silence. And they expect us to be silenced about it, to maintain our silence about it, when they could keep quiet about Biden, you know. So Trump is in a mess at the moment, and maybe he is not even physically fit to serve. Let him take the mental test he claimed to take during the elections. Let him take even the physical test, the mental test, to see if our president is fit to serve.
This is a nurse talk. My medical opinion regarding the president's conditions, and I'm saying conditions. Look at him. What's new is that the puffiness around his eyes. That's called periorbital edema, swelling in the eye orbits around both eyes. When it's one eye, it's something else is going on. When it's both eyes, it's indicative of a bigger problem. Same thing with both ankles, right? They gave us an explanation calling it peripheral or vascular insufficiency, but what he has is a peripheral vascular disease. That's what they dressed it down as something. But the bottom line is this. I look at him, I see the bruised hands. That tells me they're most likely using those big veins on his hands to gain access to administer IV diuretics. IV diuretics versus oral diuretics are much quicker, and they will get you out of a crisis much quicker. I'm listening to him speak, and at times he sounds very short of breath. That happens with congestive heart failure. And the edema, which was looking like it was just in his hand and in his lower extremities that we could see, is now in the face. What I can tell you is this. These diuretics that they administer to help get the fluid out of the body has to be processed through the kidneys. The drug has to be processed through the kidneys, and the fluid has to go through the kidneys. So if the kidneys are not working, renal failure, then you're going to be in fluid overload all the time. It's going to be very hard to navigate without hemodialysis. It is a potentially serious problem if I am right. It is a serious problem if he's got both congestive heart failure and renal failure at the same time. My dad did. This was what ultimately took his life, was congestive heart failure and renal failure, and they're a bad combo. They just are. My opinion.
That man has congestive heart failure. I am almost positive. As nurses, we don't diagnose, but neither do the White House doctors. They lie. I worked several years on an inpatient cardiovascular unit. I saw CHF and venous insufficiency every single day, and I think those are CHF kinkles, and I do not believe that he just got that diagnosis. Now, I'm not saying it can't be chronic venous insufficiency, but a lot of times that'll impact one leg and not the other, or one leg and then the other later. So you might have swelling on one side, you might have wounds, discoloration, things like that. That symmetrical bilateral edema out of nowhere is giving CHF. I'm sorry. Have you guys seen that picture that's floating around, and it's like comparing Biden's very skinny ankles to Trump's newly swollen ankles? I know that has his blood absolutely boiling. I'm just laughing thinking about his crash outs. Like, how much ketchup do you think is going to hit the walls in the White House? Now, you can live for several years with CHF, and I'm not rushing him along. I don't know what's worse though, Trump or JD Vance.
President Trump has just suffered a stroke, and I don't even think he knows it yet. He went out for a 9/11 remembrance today with his wife Melania. This was just moments ago. I was just watching it live, and what I'm seeing is one of the major stroke symptoms, facial drooping. Look at this video. This is from Washington Post, and you can go on YouTube and watch this live video. You can see that the right side of Trump's face is drooping down. This is one of the clear signs of a stroke. B FAST is the acronym that we use to look for signs, and F is the facial drooping.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
And there's more, because yesterday, Trump posted a video about Charlie Kirk. People were saying this video is AI edited, and it did not look like him at all.
Devoted his life to the cause of open debate.
Was his stroke yesterday? Did somebody in the White House notice this?
Guys, I am truly sorry to reignite this conversation again, but I have to, because have you guys seen the video of Trump right now at the 9/11 ceremony? Wait a minute.
Sandra C. Taylor. Sandra D. Teague. Lieutenant Carl
What is going on
W.
with
Tepe,
this side of his face?
United States Army, retired.
He can't stay awake, but also, like, what?
Sergeant Tamara C. Thurman, United States Army.
Now he's bobbing? Like, what?
Lieutenant Commander Otis V. Tolbert, United States Navy.
Why is this side of his mouth drooping? You can see that, right?
Staff Sergeant Willie Q. Troy.
Falling asleep. He's falling asleep.
Specialist Chin Sun Pack Wells, United States Army.
Oh, woke himself up. Look at his mouth.
Staff Sergeant Maudlin A. White, United States Army. Sandra L. White.
I'm sorry, but that is not a healthy man, right? Like, why is his mouth drooping so much? Like, it looks like, I'm sorry to be right, but it looks like my theory about these, like, small strokes. Because what is that? It looks like facial paralysis on one side. And he cannot keep himself awake. He keeps bobbing to try to keep himself awake and, like, shaking it off. Like, he's not well. Something is wrong with him.
Donald Trump had a small little stroke. He looked exactly like my grandma did, but she looked like that permanently after her major stroke. And that's why they used AI to make that statement about Charlie Kirk, and why President McDroopyface was, well, President McDroopy Face. Now, I'm not a doctor, but all the signs can't be good for him. This, along with the bruising and the cankles, he's always had slurred speech. By the way, I would just want to say, during his first term, he was a little better. Maybe because he had a health secretary that cared about health. And now he's probably following the advice of his current health secretary. I mean, it just makes sense.
Hello everyone, it's Anthony here, no relation. So welcome to my channel, and here we discuss about general issues affecting our country, general issues affecting Americans. And at the moment, we are looking at the health crisis affecting our president. Our president at the moment is not fit to serve. He is not. And you have seen tens of medical experts claiming that there is something wrong with Donald Trump. And I was watching the Don Lemon show the other day, and he was claiming there is no shame in Donald Trump coming out about his health condition. This man is 80 years old. There is no shame in age. Yes, we appreciate our old age people. They have served they have served our country well. Let them retire. Yes, there is no shame in Trump saying my health is in crisis because of my age. We understand that. Retire. Give give someone else that place to serve the Americans who is fit mentally and physically to do so. Hmm? Yes, because maybe even the old age of Trump might cause dementia or might cause his judgment skills. That's why you see maybe he is putting tariffs on anyone because maybe even he is forgetting. The other day, he put tariffs on a country which has no people, only the penguins. Only penguins. So you wonder, which trade does penguin? What trade do penguins do with US? Mm. When you see the Trump of 2016 and the Trump of the moment, there is a huge difference. There is a huge difference. There is a huge difference. So I guess Trump has to come clean about his health condition. There is no shame in that, and resign. Yes, we have had enough.